roll, please.
Yes. Mrs. Currington?
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
And Mrs. Simmons?
Yes. Could we all stand for the pledge of allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The mission of the Trotwood-Madison School is to graduate all students prepared to excel in a global society with a commitment to lifelong learning by guaranteeing a challenging curriculum facilitated by an innovative and dedicated staff, community participation, state-of-the-art resources, and a stimulating atmosphere. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school's district business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Is there, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
I motion.
I second.
Are any changes to the agenda?
I do have one change, under board report number 3. I would like to add approval of settlement agreement and compensation for an employee under item number 3, board report, agenda item A. And I'll speak to that when we get to that item.
Mr. Harris, you said under 3?
Yes.
Board report?
Board,
Three,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Board
3A.
report, yes, 3A.
And you're going to say 3A?
3A, yes.
All right.
Okay, at this time, we have a presentation by Mr.
We have the motion to accept.
Oh, I'm sorry, a motion to accept those changes.
I motion.
I second.
Can we take a vote?
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
Mrs. Currington?
Yes.
And Mrs. Simmons?
Yes. Okay, the agenda has been moved and changed. We'll move to presentation. Mr. Freeman?
Yes, tonight we have Shan Freeman. You come on up, sir. Shan is the president of Shan Freeman Enterprises. Members of the board requested more information with regards to a contract Mr. Freeman has on the agenda for approval this evening. And Shan is going to speak to that contract for the district in marketing that he's been working with Mr. Smith on.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm a 2010 Trotwood alumni, and Trotwood through and through, kindergarten all the way up through senior year. And throughout that time, and preceding me, my brother 14 years older than me, Trotwood, sister 7 years older, Trotwood. So seen a lot, seen softball there in Madison Park, say soccer. When I look back at those things, now being a member of the Chamber of Commerce, president of the Trotwood Chamber of Commerce, looking back at that now and just seeing visiting the Irish Museum, and they have a history book, and you'll flip back and you'll see pictures of that, and there's sponsors there at the bottom, right? So it's sponsors that really kept Say Soccer and that softball field and these other programs that I participated in, and others that kept it afloat. And I think that's a gap that I've seen, during my time, post-time out of school and now as a young professional. It's a gap that I've seen, and from an athletic standpoint where, we've won state championships, We're constantly competing, you know, at the regional level at least. And after talking to A.D. Smith, just kind of hearing some of the higher selling points as far as like hosting playoff games, football, and hosting district track meets where we're attracting over 3,000 people to the football stadium to, you know, watch people from all over compete. Just kind of the way my brain works, I see, you know, dollar signs for the district, for the community, and thinking about how we can tie those two, into play. So reached out to him, and the contract itself is pretty simple, in the fact that, you know, I would reach out, you know, we kind of work together on some sponsorship packages based on like what he thought made sense and what I thought made sense. We'll reach out to different businesses. We kind of talk through a target list of who we would like to reach out to, who would be good to, you know, further their business and maybe invest into the community. And the only percentage I get is, you know, just from whatever I make. So I don't have a budget that I'm working with where, you know, I'm not courting them, I'm not flying anywhere, you know, it's nothing of that stature. In the city or the school system, you guys wouldn't pay for me to meet with anyone or anything like that, but simply just if I bring in a contract, that's what I, you know, would benefit from. So I think that's the, you know, kind of bulk of it. Really just have a passion to see things kind of get back to where they once were. Just talking to different folks in the nonprofit world and just in business in general, and just seeing how it just seems kind of easy, you know, it just seems like, you know, no one is kind of doing it. So here to try and fill that gap.
So for clarity, I do have a question. So for clarity, what you, or whatever revenue is produced, you will get a portion of that. Is it like one third of?
Yes.
1/3 of the revenue. So the board, for the record, the board will not be responsible for any capital investment in the contract. Mr.
Correct.
Freeman will be soliciting as an individual, working with the athletic department, and then whatever monies that they you know, sign off on, whatever monies that they retrieve, he'll get paid through that, and that money, the other money, the rest of it will come directly to the district, the athletics or, you know, other activities. Correct? Summing that up?
That is correct.
Okay.
That's it.
And I guess just for me, a question, what are you selling, like billboards at the stadium during the games or inside the gym, their name on the wall?
Yep, so we have one spot on the scoreboard, football scoreboard that's available. The others will be mesh banners that will go across the field that you may have seen, you know, in other places. So they are still trying to reach out to get a cost on that, but the company will probably eat the cost of, you know, the mesh banner, and then we'll have it there, you know, throughout the football and soccer seasons, track as well, of course. They're pretty doable. 1-year contracts in that instance. Also looking at the basketball gym, of course, the packages would kind of vary. The middle package and the higher packages, of course, you would get both basketball access as well as football. We're also looking at a package for something that hasn't been used, and I, you know, went to playing basketball games. I'm like, why isn't the scoreboard, the digital scoreboard right there, floating anything? So it's a matter, A.D. Smith said, of teaching staff how to use it again, but that will be, you know, another opportunity when the games are streamed. You know, a sponsor's name could be there. Of course, social media, when, you know, someone wins a game, they could sponsor a rivalry game or homecoming, senior night, so those different type of activities. They can sponsor the team dinners or the team gala. And then also another one that, you know, we often, I think, can forget about is the natatorium, you know, so looking inside there at some opportunities as well. I think we host you know, plenty meets and maybe even a district meet there, that would be beneficial for sponsors.
And we also did have, the district, legal counsel review the contract, and they sent it back to us and said that they didn't see any concerns, they didn't have any concerns, or, so it's really an in-kind partnership with the community guy, president of the chamber, trying to help solicit, solicit funds and sponsorships for ultimately our students. So,
Who asked for more
Questions?
information about it? I know it's, I don't have any questions.
I don't have any questions.
okay, thanks, Mr. Freeman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are, on the agenda item a little later on for approval of the contract.
All right, thank you.
Just for information.
No, I'm gonna ask for approval for that one tonight.
Okay, was it on information?
Huh?
Right here, which is information.
Information.
For,
So if that's the case, then we can add it to the
Yeah,
agenda
yeah,
now and get the vote out of the way?
It's on information.
no, there are a few things I'm gonna ask for approval for tonight. There are a few things, the personnel agenda, yeah, there are a few things, the Stepping Stones contract, some of the things that were on the agenda last week, 2 weeks ago. There are a couple things that, and then I
Right,
did.
that's on for action, that's stepping stone.
Okay, well, I would like to put the Shan Freeman contract on for information.
Just, so I put a motion on the floor to, amend the agenda to add the, Shan Freeman item to vote for approval.
I second.
Just to put it on for action.
Well, yeah, we want
And then we'll
for
get to
action.
that.
Can we put it on for action now? Can we do it now?
Well,
So we can-
we could, if we wait till we get to the items, then we
Okay.
can just move through those.
All right.
And then I just need a little clarification, because there were some items that were supposed to be on for action.
I don't know which
Yeah.
ones were those.
I have them. Yeah.
Will those
So do we need a motion to change
come
those?
under-
Yeah, let's-
I think it went out as information, and if we wanna change it for action, it needs to be amended, to reflect that. And so,
Where does it say, does it say
right-
information?
Yes.
Yeah, it says
If you
information
look on
under
your-
Shan's.
Okay.
But then all of your approvals are underneath your superintendent's report.
Ms.
Okay.
Howard, do you see, do you have that?
I do, yep.
So all of them are information with the exception of the Stepping Stones contract and then the personnel agenda. Everything else is for information. And normally that is what we do for the work session, normally.
Okay,
So I'm just saying if you-
yeah, I think we kinda need to talk through that, because there are some things that are time sensitive that we need to get approved, like the personnel agenda, like this
So that's for
contract.
action, that's on.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So I don't know what your pleasure.
Well, I would definitely like to get this one approved, because football season is started today.
Sure.
And, Mr. Smith had requested to get that one approved.
Can we amend the agenda?
Yeah.
We can amend the agenda and add
So
that.
is that the only one that you want to change the information?
It
to?
was also, and I may have overlooked that, I apologize, but also I need to get item, item C, which is the Stepping Stones contract. E,
That's for action, Mr.
That's-
Howard.
yeah, E, the approval of the team physician,
Mhm.
because, again, football season starts
Okay,
today.
It says information, so
Yeah.
that's gonna change
So
the
five-
action.
Right, yeah,
E
and,
and 5F.
and for the record, these were some things that were submitted to me just recently, and, being time sensitive with athletics starting, I needed to get these done. So C, E, F, of course, Shan Freeman contract, and then G, which was the personnel agenda. So it is just those
It's just
those
those
couple,
two.
yeah,
Just
just those
two,
couple,
E and
right.
F.
Yep,
So we have a motion on the floor to change those to 5E and 5F from
To action-
information to
to
action.
action items.
Motion.
So can I get a motion on the floor?
I motion to change items E and items F from information to action.
and I'm sorry, I need to add one more. I need to add A. That is approval of Impractical to transport list of students. This has to be done before school starts. And I'll explain that. So A-C-E-F
No,
and
A-E-N-F.
A-E-F, yes.
So I put a motion on the floor to change items A, E, and F from information to action.
I second.
Okay, can we get a vote?
Mr. Lumpkin,
Yes.
Mrs. Currington,
Yes.
and Mrs. Simmons.
Yes.
All right, thank you for that clarification. I
Okay.
appreciate it. All right, thank you, Ms. Allen, walking me through that.
Okay, number 3, board report.
So, item number 3, the president of the board contacted me along with legal counsel. In your folder, the first item in your folder, there is a settlement agreement that the board needs to approve. It is, in sense, procedural, the settlement agreement and the information with regards to who and what is all listed out in the agreement, with the understanding that the board was only responsible for paying the deductible, not the full cost of the settlement. There's been some discussion about this before, and we were told we needed to put this on for action and have the board approve the settlement agreement with this employee.
I'll give you guys a few minutes to read over it, and then we'll need a motion.
Paragraph 4 will identify the actual settlement agreement with the understanding that the board is responsible for just the deductible costs.
Can I have a motion?
I'll motion.
I second.
Vote.
Mr. Lumpkin,
Yes.
Mrs. Currington,
Yes.
Mrs. Simmons.
Yes. Move on to the treasurer's report.
I only have one thing for information this evening, and that is the approval of the minutes for the July 18th, 2024 regular meeting. And those are attached. So that's just for information. We will vote on that, at the August 15th meeting. That's all.
So we'll move on to superintendent's report, 5A.
Thank you. I do have a few items, and again, thank you for clarification, and, you know, chalk that up to being a little green with that regards, but there are a few items that are time sensitive that I will request action for this evening. If there are any questions, I can answer them directly. The first one is the approval of the board to declare schools impractical for transportation. Attached is a list of schools that have students, some 1, some 2, some 5 in our school district that we are declaring impractical for transportation. All of the students that attend these schools will be offered in lieu of payments that will come to the board in the spring. The in lieu of payment is the payment that the state will, through our board, through our process, send to these students that attend these schools. And there are 6 qualifying categories that we use to determine whether or not a school is impractical. And just for the simple fact that, you know, we can't you can't manage to, get all of these kids at the one place at one time, while running our fleet. So I am asking for action on this item this evening.
Can we have a motion for or do we wait, or do we get them individually?
Yeah.
Individually. For 5A, approval of Impractical to transport list to schools.
I motion that we approve 5A, approval of Impractical to transport list of schools.
I second.
Can we get a vote, Ms. Allen?
Yes, Mrs. Currington,
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin,
Yes.
and Mrs. Simmons.
Yes.
Thank you. So, just for follow-up and clarity, so what we will do at this point is we will provide each of these schools information that the board has declared their schools impractical, and the families that attend the schools. And then those families will be responsible for, once we give them that information, filling an application for in lieu of payment. We will verify those students that they attend that school and that they attended that school through the entire year, and through our process, if they're verified, we will proceed with the payment for each one of those students.
I know, Ms. Simmons is very excited about you doing that.
Okay.
We will move on to 5B.
5B, item 5B is the approval of the school resource officer contract for the 2025 school year. This is for information. The change with the additional resource officer is denoted in the contract. So now we will be housing 2 school resource officers in the district, Officer Tyrone Derrick and Keandre Taylor. And we are asking for the board to review that and get a vote on that next week so we can proceed with that contract.
What was the first person's name?
Keandre Taylor and Tyrone Derrick, who happens to be in the building this evening.
I think that was for information only. So we'll move on to 5C, Mr. Howard.
Item 5C is approval of the Stepping Stones Agreement. This is the agreement that was on the agenda 2 weeks ago with regards to those additional auxiliary supports that we have to contract out with due to inability to find staffing, limited resources, et cetera.
I can ask my question now, or this is before and after school, right?
No, Stepping Stones is not. Stepping Stones is for, I believe, intervention specialists, LPNs, and clinic aides.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you, Ms. Mallory. I couldn't see you behind the pole.
Okay, I need a motion, this is action.
I motion that we approve the contract for Stepping Stones.
I second.
Would you call the roll, Ms. Allen?
Ms. Currington,
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin,
Yes.
and Mrs. Simmons.
Yes.
Thank you.
And 5D, Mr. Howard?
5D is the approval of the Trotwood-Madison athletic budget for the 25 school year. In your information is a copy of the budget for your review. And that is for information this evening.
Are there any questions?
No.
Okay, we'll move on, Mr. Howard, to 5E.
5E is the approval of the team physician via the Kettering Health contract. Kettering does something a little different than we've done in the past. They request Board of Education approval for a team physician that will be assigned to a variety or different athletic activities through the athletic season. So what they want to do is they want to formalize who they are hiring as a team physician, and this person will be on the sidelines throughout the athletic season. And they just ask for board approval of that individual in kind of a ceremonial procedural way. We pay this individual through the contract, so there's no additional cost for this individual, but they want to make sure you guys have your stamp on this person. And I'm asking for action on that this evening.
Can we get a motion for 5E?
I motion that we accept the contract, that we approve the contract for the Kettering Health Team Physician for athletics.
I second.
Yes. Mrs. Currington?
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
And Mrs. Simmons?
Yes. Moving along, 5F, Mr. Howard.
5F, I'm asking for approval of the Shan Freeman Enterprises contract per the presentation we had just a few minutes ago. The contract is attached, and again, it has been reviewed by the legal counsel for the district, and we're asking for approval on that this evening.
Can I get a motion for approval
Yeah.
on item 5F?
I move to approve item 5F.
I second.
Will you call the roll, please, Ms. Howard?
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
Mrs. Currington?
Yes.
And Mrs. Simmons?
Yes. Moving right along, 5G, Mr. Howard.
5G, I'm asking for approval of the personnel agenda for August 1st. A1, recommendation for the approval of the following certified resignations for the 24-25 school year. A2, recommendation for the approval of the following certified new hires for the 24-25 school year. A3, recommendation for the approval of the following certified staff to be used on an as-needed basis for the 24-25 school year. A4, recommendation for the approval of the following certified supplementals for the 24-25 school year. A5, recommendation for the approval of the following certified adjustments in training for the 24-25 school year. B1, classified agenda, recommendation for the approval of the classified new hires for the 24-25 school year. B2, recommendation for the approval of the following classified resignations for the 24-25 school year. B3, recommendation for the approval of the following classified supplementals for the 24-25 school year. B3, recommendation for the approval of the following classified supplementals for the 24-25 school year. Continued. B4, recommendation for the approval of the following classified staff to be used on an as-needed basis. B5, recommendation for the approval of the following student workers for the 24-25 school year. And B6, recommendation for the approval of the following after-school food service rates for the 24-25 school year. Those rates were bumped up slightly to match the summer food service rates. And one footnote, the board, a couple members of the board asked if we were going to be approving these on a meeting basis, that we provide them on at least by Friday. So what I'm gonna try to do is, as we put the agendas together, try to provide them Thursday or Friday of the prior week so you can review them. And then if there are any changes, we'll bring an agenda in, amend it, and then put it in the put the new agenda on as the personnel agenda. So hopefully you got the agenda that we sent on Friday. Thought that was a great idea.
We can't vote. We can't approve it. So one of the items on here for approval, one person is on here that I cannot vote on.
And so you can can vote on it with the exception of.
With the
no
exception,
vote, no
okay,
vote.
I just wanna make sure that we don't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
You can
Unless
abstain.
you all wanna move that outside of the vote, and we can vote it that way, or you can just say, I, vote on everything with the exception of, and I'll put it in there.
Just wanna make sure.
Yeah.
I'm assuming B3. B3?
Yes.
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 No, wait a minute.
It's not B3.
It's not B3.
I'm sorry.
It is B3.
Under B3?
Under B3.
Oh.
You talking about John Lumpen?
Yes.
It-
Yeah, it's on B3.
So the under,
Classified supplemental.
right, it'd be under B3.
Um,
So can you,
It's under B3.
Yeah, I would make that.
yeah, okay.
Make,
Yeah.
no, okay. So we still need a motion to approve.
Oh, yeah, it's on the previous page, B3.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right.
We still need a motion to approve the
With the
personnel
exception of-
agenda with the exception of, Mr. Lumpkin, and it was B3, okay?
Yep.
Need the motion,
I motion.
I second.
Ms. Allen, call the roll, please.
Mr. Lumpkin,
Yes.
Mrs. Currington,
Yes.
and Mrs. Simmons.
Yes. So, discussion, follow-up items.
So I do have a couple follow-up items for you, for you guys, the members of the board. Last meeting, the board did ask for some updates on Ram Nation Virtual Academy. So in your folder, your vanilla folder, I provided a copy as of today of the total number of students enrolled in Ram Nation Virtual Academy, their grade level, the number of new students as of today, the number of open enrolled students, these are students outside of the district that have come to Trotwood-Madison to attend Ram Nation, and the number of seniors that we currently have. And then also, I've provided the footnote information that because we have discontinued the K-5 program, there were a total of 7 students that we were going to lose, possibly lose, because they were not going to be able to attend Ram Nation Virtual Academy. But as of this afternoon, we have secured 3 of those students to come back and go back into the buildings as students, you know, in person. So that number has gone from 7 to 4. So at this point, we are only losing four of our K-5 students. The K-5 group, we discontinued that. It wasn't a large number, but, you know, the rationale for discontinuing is that, discontinuing that is, you know, we really felt, you know, not only financially, but also from the standpoint of socialization, holistic education for children, that we need to get these kids back in front of classrooms. And we didn't want to provide an out for parents. We do understand that there's some concerns. We do understand that there's some apprehension, some anxiety on that level. But from the standpoint of the district, we felt that it would be best if we really try to, you know, push those kids back into the classroom, you know, from our philosophy standpoint. So that's an update on Ram Nation.
So, question.
Yes.
So the total number of students enrolled is 73, correct?
Yes.
Okay. With us gaining 15 new students as of August 1st.
Yes.
And the 15 is within that 73.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just looking at the 10th and 11th grade in 2 years.
And what I will say, and this is just from a general perspective, the kids seem to, as they get up in grade or age, some of the kids seem to perceive this as a better option. So as you see, you know, your 6th, your 7th, and your 8th graders, the numbers are low, but as those kids progressively move down, it may present a better option for them after 2 or 3 years sitting in a classroom, sitting in a building. So I wouldn't put a whole lot of investment in those lower numbers at 6th, 7th, and 8th. really focusing on, you know, those high school kids and seeing once those kids start moving down, what those numbers look like. So when your ninth graders become 10th graders, your seventh graders become freshmen, et cetera.
The number of open enrolled students, those new students, Tim?
I don't have that information. They may be open enrolled students that were already on our roll, that attended here last year or the year before. They just open enrolled and just re-enrolled. All open enrolled students have to re-enroll at the beginning of the year.
Any other questions on, Trend Nation Virtual Academy? Okay. Ms. Howard, looks like you have another discussion opening week.
Yes, in your folder, I've also provided a paper-clipped first invitation. It'll say Trotwood-Madison Opening Day Convocation. Looks like that. This is the invitation that went out to community partners, City of Trotwood, et cetera. And then behind that is a draft agenda for the opening day convocation program. I spoke to Ms. Cherry a little bit earlier yesterday, or a little bit earlier this week, not yesterday specifically, and kind of walked her through what the convocation would look like. I'm not quite sure who from the board will be attending, but there is a section on there where Ms. Cherry will be welcoming and introducing all of the board members if you're able to attend. I'm sure you can just let Ms. Allen know. As we move through the agenda, pretty much boilerplate standard information that we do during our convocation. A couple, special things that I really wanted to make sure we emphasize is, our staff and our students. So Jada Wyatt, the class of 2024 valedictorian, will be doing a very brief reflection at the beginning of the program after Ms. Cherry does the welcome. And then we've just finalized Mr. Stone will be, I think we spelled his name wrong, I don't know, will be giving a brief inspirational speech as a kind of quasi keynote for the year. We think this is a good time to recognize Mr. Stone and his accomplishments. I'll talk about that a little bit more, but for the most part, standard agenda. Breakfast starts at 8. The breakfast will be catered by, who's the catering company? Rich Taste. Rich Taste Catering. 8:45 we'll move into the program. Program usually lasts about an hour and a half, no longer than 2 hours. And then at that point, we kick the year off. Any questions about that agenda? All right, so if you're available to come and support, breakfast is always good. First time the entire staff is back in the district. And then we proceed opening week with, after the meeting, after the, convocation, TMEA has a meeting, and then after lunch, staff goes back to their buildings, and the principals meet with them through the end of the day. The 8th will be a full professional development day, where the curriculum department will work to develop a PD schedule for all staff, and then they will be assigned based upon needs for professional development, and that'll be an entire day. And then on the 9th, Trotwood Police will present in the morning from 8:30 to 10. We do a standard safety training with all staff. It's gonna start at 8:30. Trotwood Police will come and present their run, hide, fight theoretical practice for all of our staff members. And then after that training, we'll give the teachers the rest of the day to work in their classrooms. So that's pretty much our opening week for 2024. And that's all I had as far as those updates.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Allen, treasurer's comments?
I just had one, today I had the opportunity to go to the Montgomery County ESC gathering, and they had some really good speakers that enlightened me from the financial arena. And, it was just really good. And I don't know if Mr. Howard's going to talk a little bit more about that, but what was the name of the school?
What's the name of the school?
What was the name?
Rachel, you remember Miss Rachel,
The
Miss
name of the
Murdoch?
school.
You remember the name of the school in Syracuse that presented? Yeah.
Yeah, but it was something else. But
Yeah.
anyway, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
So that's all I
Superintendent's comments.
I have provided everybody with a superintendent's update for the month of August. So if you just make a quick reference to that, I got a few things. Make a quick reference to that. We been doing a lot, getting ourselves ready for the upcoming school year. Really kicking off this week. The administrative team came back last week on the 22nd. This week we had our administrative retreat on Monday and Tuesday. We did 2 off-site administrative meetings, one at Goodwill Easter Seals and one at Coco's Bistro downtown, where we met and we talked about a lot of the different initiatives that we are getting ready to push as we head into the school year. And we also talked about some of the aspects and implementation of PLCs, professional learning communities. This is a concept that I'm gonna share with the board probably over the next couple of meetings, just with regards to how we wanna move, in essence, as a community when it comes to working with our students. So, admin retreat was great. Food down at Coco's was great. So great that after lunch, it's always hard to try to get everybody back, but we made it. Today, Ms. Allen already spoke to the admin meeting at ESC. We had roughly about 15, 18 staff members down there. That was a great event. Third paragraph talks to the vacancies. We talked about this a little bit last week. As of 2 weeks ago, we had 17 vacancies. We are down to 4. We're down to 4 vacancies, and only one of those vacancies being a classroom certified teacher. So we're really excited about that. Want to commend Mr. Manley and his team and the print building principals, because it's been a team effort of closing those holes and filling those gaps with regards to vacancies. So we are hoping by next week that we are going to be fully staffed and ready to go with folks in place. And if we don't get those vacancies filled, we do have some backup plans with that regard. New teacher staff orientation, new teacher/staff orientation is tomorrow. We have 35 new staff to the district, which to me is not bad at all. I've been in situations where we've had 90 new staff to the district. So 35, and again, through retirement, through attrition, through some of those things, you lose some people, but 24 teachers and 11 classified staff, I think we're in a pretty good place. Those 35 new staff are filling a lot of those vacancies. I've included also some important dates. August 8th is the district open house. All of the buildings will be having their open house on the 8th, starting between 5 and 5:30. If you have an opportunity to stop at the buildings, I think the last one closes at 7:30, maybe Westbrook Village. But if you make it in between 5 and 7, you'll be able to see all of the buildings welcoming kids back. Back to school bashes this weekend, 1 to 3 p.m. Hoping it doesn't rain. And then there's a list of community partners that have committed to the back to school bash at the middle school. Also want to remind the board, I will be on vacation the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Unfortunately, I am going to be missing the first day of school, but it's for a wonderful event. I'm taking my son to college, and I wanted to make sure you guys were aware. So after the 7th, after convocation, my family will be leaving on the 8th. And then I'll assign some points of contact in the district if you have any questions or concerns. Mr. Manley, Ms. Murdoch, Mrs. Mallory, they will all be able to manage the rest of the opening week. I wanted to just bring just a couple things. I know I talked a lot, but I wanted to bring just a couple things to your attention, because what I don't want to happen is that someone says something, hey, you know, we got my kids in the after-school program, and you guys don't know anything about it. So this year, the district has partnered with Champions. Champions, this is what this handout looks like, this copy. Champions used to be KinderCare, or works under KinderCare. Yeah, a subsidiary of KinderCare, and KinderCare has been around for years. So, with that being said, real quickly, this is the program that is going to be managing our after-school, before and after care program here in the district. So parents can drop their kids off as early as 7 and pick their kids up as late as 6 p.m. here in the district. Very small tuition rate. I do believe the program will take title funds. We've been working with this organization to get a lot of things done as far as compliance is concerned. So we're excited about this partnership. It's something that we've done in the district years ago, but it's definitely been a need. So we're crossing our fingers, putting a lot of work in. Met with the individuals that run the program, and I think Mrs. Murdoch and her team have done most of the legwork. So this is just a lot of information about the program, and we're hoping to get it kicked off through at the beginning of the school year. All of the management of funds, registration, all of that is done through Champions. The district is not responsible for any of that. We are providing them space, and they provide the program. Got any questions? Let me know.
I do.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So if they're going in the morning,
Mhm.
2 days a week is $40. So if they go in the afternoon, is that gonna be $95 for 2 days?
I think it's just that one fee. Yeah, we'll get the clarification of that, but I think it's just that one, I think it's just that one fee. I think the part-time is 1 to 2 days a week.
Mhm.
So if you go 1 or 2 days, you pay this.
You pay-
If you go 3 or 5 days, you pay this.
Right, but is that I'm trying to figure out if that's morning and afternoon, or is it two separate fees?
And I will find out for sure. It looks like that on here.
Yeah.
It does look like that on here.
So I'm thinking that wouldn't be affordable.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right. We'll get some clarification on that.
But it says full-time, so I'm thinking if you need it morning and afternoon, it
It'll
would be
be
the
just
either
90,
or, either the
right.
65 or the 90.
Right.
Because it says full-time.
So full-time is three to 5 days per week. But is it at the $65 rate if you're only going in the morning? Or is it the $90 rate if you're going in the afternoon? And if you're going morning and afternoon, what is the rate?
Is it combined? Great question.
That is a
Ms.
good question.
Meredith, would you, okay, so we'll,
It looks like it is per.
Yeah.
yeah,
per
it does,
session.
it does. And looking at this information, it does look like that.
And so that would be $155 for somebody to send their kid for a week.
Before and after for 5 days.
But I do believe that they take title funds as well.
That's for the people who can get
Yeah,
type of
right,
funds.
that's right, right.
76%.
Yeah. So we'll get some clarification on that and
Thank
follow
you.
up. But I
Thank you.
did want to make sure you had the program. It's a great question. And last, in the folder that you have, we have some great information, great news. Mr. Stone has been, we've been talking about Mr. Stone for the last month or so, which, and hey, we keep talking about him because it's good for us, it's good for the district.
Right.
He's been identified as one of the 4 finalists for the State Teacher of the Year. I'm not quite sure when the announcement will be made for the finalists, but I wanted to share that information with you. I've shared it with the district. It's great news, and I wanted to make sure the board was aware.
Thank you.
All right, and that's all I have.
Any questions for Mr. Howard? Superintendent's report. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Moving right along to the board comments. Ms. Currington.
I don't have a lot. Congratulations, Mr. Freeman. Go do well for us and get us some good old sponsorship. Thank the staff that is here tonight to help answer some of the questions. Thank you, Treasurer Allen, Superintendent Howard, for doing such a great job of communicating and getting us all the information that we need. I am excited about the new school year. I think this is gonna be one of the best years yet, so have a great first day, and I hope to see you at the bash on Saturday. And that'll be all for me. I'm excited.
Thank you, Ms. Currington. Mr. Lumpkin.
Congratulations to Justin for being, to Mr. Stone for being in the final four for Teacher of the Year in the state of Ohio. And congratulations to you, Mr. Freeman, for coming back to the district and doing something that's really needed for our athletic program. So we're excited about that as well. We do have an apparel that we're promoting from a former Trotwood-Madison student today. So the Mac brand T-shirt that we're wearing is from Chris Mack, who's a student at Trotwood-Madison. So we're going to make it an effort from our Board of Education to highlight when our students or former students are doing things that have their businesses. So that's why I have on this orange T-shirt. I am not representing Beaver Creek by any stretch of the imagination. And then the last thing is just looking forward to the school year starting, and I just really appreciate the front-loaded information that we're receiving about everything that's going on. And thanks to the members of the staff and all your preparation and dealing with us as we make decisions, and just know that when we come to decisions and we make decisions, it's for the betterment of our students. So thank you. Oh, and one last thing, Dion, we want to recognize Dion Simmons and her family. She actually lost her father. We've been going through a lot personally. Dion, we just want to tell you we love you. We love your family and your contributions to the community, and we pray for peace for you in this time of bereavement.
Thank you. So I guess it's me. I will just concur on all of the comments that you all have said. Have a great and a wonderful school year. You guys did, most of you. Thank you, Trotwood. Thank you, board. Thank you, the community who attended my dad's service. I appreciate that love and support. I felt it in a warm way, and it helped. So thank you for that. Great job, Mr. Howard. Even missing a meeting last week, I still felt that the information was clear as ever. So thank you so much. Continue to provide us with this information. If it's not too much, hopefully we don't ask too many questions. We don't make it more difficult for you, but I appreciate it. And even in my absence, I felt like I was still on top of everything. So thank you, Mr. Howard, and always Ms. Allen for keeping us on task. And I think that's it for me. And I have to call a motion to go into executive session, right? So
I motion.
I second.
we'll move into executive section at this time.
Got a card.
10
ceremony.
My watch is dead, so let me see what time
It is,
what time
now
is it?
7:12.
Okay.
So what you said, you declared out of executive session at 7:12 adjourned. I need a
Okay.
motion.
We are declared out of executive session at 7:12. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
Ms. Allen, would you call the roll?
Mrs. Currington?
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
And Mrs. Simmons?
Yes. We can.
Right.